but not necessarily
The news.
The news. All right, now here we go. Not necessarily the news. This, you cannot make this stuff up. You can't script this. So we're going to the Mormon fundamentalist region, Jericho, Utah. Joseph McAllister, a father of no fewer than, get this, Chris, 26 children. He's filed for divorce after realizing none of his children, none, not one of the 26
was
his.
Wow.
Yeah. He shares his life with 4 wives. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And has demanded simultaneous divorces after a paternity test proved he was not the biological dad of his children. The man had become suspicious after a medical exam revealed that he was born with a testicular anomaly under which his doctor had deemed it impossible for him to be fertile. Mr. McAllister then proceeded to hire a private investigator who eventually uncovered the DNA samples that proved that his twin brother was in fact the biological dad of his children. His twin brother.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. This
The story is now warming up. So hold on to your seats. Everybody buckled up? Right.
Oh, man.
Now, Brian McAllister, Mr. McAllister's twin brother, admitted under testimony to having fathered his brother's 26 children, but only because the wives asked him to. It gets even better. Brian McAllister, the twin brother of Joseph McAllister, was asked to give testimony before the court after the private investigator hired by his brother had discovered the twin brother was in fact the biological dad of the 26 children. Mary, Joseph's first wife, desperately wanted to have children, but she hadn't given birth 2 years after their marriage. This is what the brother now is explaining. She was desperate and asked me if I could help her out. And if at first I refused vehemently, in time, I eventually changed my mind, he said. She coaxed you, huh? The first times she just asked me, to do it sort of artificially, yeah? But then subsequently she wanted the full Monty. It wasn't really like cheating, he says, because I'm homosexual and I have no desire for her.
Oh boy.
So
really
you fathered 26 children with your twin brother's 4 wives. You now declare that you're homosexual and you got no pleasure out of this experience at all. The story keeps getting better. At first it was supposed to be a one-time thing. Well, of course, she only wanted to be able to have a child. But she kept coming back year on year. And of course, my man, being weak, Joseph McAllister's 3 other wives, now this is where it gets really curiouser and curiouser, eventually figured out what was happening after not bearing any children of their own, and demanded now that Brian McAllister also fertilize them as well.
Jeez.
Giving you meaning to the term the village ram, huh?
Boy.
They bullied me into doing this. Once they got me drunk on my brother's birthday, and I eventually woke up completely naked in the back of the barn. Wow, is this what goes on in Utah, huh? He conceded in tears. They tried to sexually assault me on several times, sometimes even offering me cocaine and marijuana. They would even show me gay porn to entice me into getting, ready. They eventually got me hooked on crack cocaine and crystal meth. I felt used. I feel like a dirty prostitute, he told the judge. Oh, boy. You really can't make this stuff up, can you? I have to assume it's all true because you can't make this up. Huh? The question is, he says he didn't enjoy impregnating these women, 4 wives of his brother. So a couple of questions come to mind here, Well, where exactly was the husband all of these times? I mean, this happened over many years. 4 wives, 26 children, and one can't presume that it was only once. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and he himself says that they hooked. I don't believe all of his stories about being gay and they using drugs and so on. Yeah. He had to be complicit in all of this. Well,
especially if he was going at it again and again.
Again and again. Yes. Well, anyhow, there you have it. That's not necessarily the news, and I want to say it gives new meaning to the term brotherly love.
Not necessarily the news, brought to you by Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
You're still up?
Yeah.